Good morning, everyone. We are in very special days coming in to the month of Shvat. We spoke a lot about it. You can look in previous classes. We just passed a very special day, the 24th of Tevet. This is the Hilul of the Balatanya. But now let's focus a little bit one line in this parasha because we have only a few minutes. And we're going to talk something interesting, not about the parsha of this week, but about the Vaerah of this week. And the Vaerah of this week has a lot of lessons to learn from. And again, we don't have time for everything. One line only. The Vaerah of this week is a prophecy said by Yecheskel the prophet. He was a famous prophet, and it made him very famous because he was a prophet not in the time of the temple. He was the prophet in time of exile. As we know, the Jews were in exile 70 years between first temple, second temple. So he lived not in Israel, he lived in Babylonia, and that's where he was a prophet. We have very interesting prophecies from him, and it's very relevant to us because he was an exile prophet. He was a prophet living in exile, Jews being in exile, and that's where his prophecy was. So the prophecy that we have in this week's parasha, we having that Hashem tells them two very strong messages, powerful messages. One is a prophecy regarding the kingdom of Egypt. That's related to this parasha, that it gives them the prophecy about the Egyptian kingdom, how it's going to fall apart because they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing well to the Jews. That's one part of the prophecy. But then we're having another prophecy that he's talking about in this week's Vaerah. This is a prophecy regarding the king of Babylonia. That was in these times, that he was then the ruler of the world, as we know. And his name was Nebuchadnezzar. That's what we call him in Tanakh. It is a very interesting story, and that's a prophecy about, but there's a lesson there. And the story is that the command of Hashem was Nebuchadnezzar, that he should go conquer Lebanon. Specific, he calls it the city Tzur. It's still today we have that city Tzur very close to the land of Israel. Sometimes it's a part of the land of Israel. It's not getting to Easter right now. And the prophecy was that Nebuchadnezzar was supposed to conquer this place, Tzur. For whatever the reason, that's what God wanted. Nebuchadnezzar went and he did so. He conquered the land. And the way the commentaries explain, it was a hard war for him. Very hard war, but no benefits. And the prophecy, Hashem tells Yecheskel that because he did this for me, I'll reward him that he is going to be able to conquer soon the land of Egypt. As we know the story after that Nebuchadnezzar, from there he came down to Egypt and he conquered the empire. Until there was an empire, the Egyptian empire, when he conquered it. And this is what God says in this prophecy to Yecheskel, that this is a reward for him conquering this place in Lebanon. And what is this related to us? There's a lot of layers and a lot of ideas. But as we said before, one idea. When Nebuchadnezzar went to conquer this place, Tzur, in Lebanon, he did not do it because that's what Hashem wanted. He did it because he wanted it. For whatever the reason is, he needed a place to go through to the Mediterranean Sea. Whatever the reason will be. But he did it because he wanted it. But Hashem saw it. He did something for me. I wanted him to conquer it, and he conquered it. Yes, he had his own agendas there. He had his own reasons, but he did it because, as I said, he did it for me. And for that, God gives him a great reward. For Nebuchadnezzar was a great reward. That this big competition, the empire of Egypt, will be conquered by him. What is the message? What is the lesson? God says to the prophet, look what I do. Someone does something for me, even though he does it for his own agenda. It's not to make me feel good. But end of the day, I benefited from that. I need to reward him for that. The message is so clear and so strong. We are Jewish people. We are brothers and sisters. How much we have to thank, how much we have to be thankful to someone that does something for me. Many people, when I see in my day-to-day life, in myself and others, somebody does you a favor, the first thing you think in your mind, he didn't really do it for me. He did it for his own ego. He did it because he'll get a benefit from it. Nothing to do with me. What have to thank him for it? And he may be right. The fellow that did me the favor, maybe did it for his own reasons, for his own agenda. Teaches us God and makes no difference to you. You got a benefit from this person. You got to thank him for it. You got to reward him for it. That's called really paying back with love to another person. Especially we're talking about a Jewish fellow, you got to do it for him. The message becomes so strong, and this is based on the Baal Shem Tov. He's saying that we have to have love to any Jew in the world. Even I never saw him in my life. What is the idea based on this explanation? Any Jew in this world does something good for me. As we know, every person that does something good in the world, it affects me in the positive. And this is why we call Kol Israel Chaverim, because whatever someone does is for me. And that's why we are Revim Zelazeh. We guarantors for each other, because whatever I do good, I affect the entire world. Whatever someone does good, it affects me in the entire world. And that's what the Baal Shem Tov's line is. I have to love and have gratitude to every person, every Jew in the world, because every Jew does a mitzvah, and the mitzvah is for me. Maybe he doesn't do it for me, or not maybe, for sure he doesn't do it for me, because he doesn't even know me. That makes no difference. I get a benefit from every Jew in the world. And this is why no matter who he is in anywhere in the world, if I know him, I don't know him, if I don't want to know him, every Jew in the world, I have to be thankful to him. That's the message that Hashem teaches us. Look, Nebuchadnezzar, he wasn't even Jewish, and he did something for God, not because he wanted to do for God, but he did something good for God. How much God rewarded him. How much more so we have to be to our brothers and sisters. That every brother and sister of ours, we have to look at them. They definitely did something for me, something good for me. Because whatever they do good is, as we said before, is for me too. How much you have to be thankful to them. How much you have to love them and to care for everybody else. Let's take that beautiful message to our day-to-day life. And this will bring us the real unity and the real Mashiach, Emetz Hashem, with the redemption, with the revelation of our Rebbe. Have yourself a good Shabbos.